Maps are more than ink on parchment. They are instruments of power, silent arbiters of destiny, and hidden architects of human civilization. A single line can ignite wars, create empires, or strand entire peoples on the wrong side of history. While the world believed borders were stable, one map quietly reshaped them forever, determining the fate of nations, cultures, and countless lives. This is the story of the map that changed the fate of nations. 10. The world before clarity. Before the map, the world was a mosaic of uncertainty. Borders were flexible, rivers and mountains were natural but inconsistent markers, and disputes over territory were common. Merchants feared traveling too far. Armies hesitated to advance into unknown terrain, and rulers relied on hearsay or outdated sketches to guide decisions. Knowledge was fragmented, and the fate of empires hung by a delicate thread. The world operated on assumptions, and human ambition often collided with reality in ways that led to unanticipated chaos. 9. The secret drafting. The creation of the map was shrouded in secrecy. Cartographers, explorers, astronomers, and spies worked for years in hidden chambers, assembling fragmented manuscripts, travel logs, and celestial observations. Expeditions to distant lands were undertaken to verify coastlines, rivers, and mountain ranges. Every line drawn was deliberate, every border carefully considered for political advantage. The map was not just a record of geography, it was a silent declaration of ambition, a tool to control trade, manipulate diplomacy, and anticipate rivals. Those who possessed it held the keys to immense power. 8. Hidden intentions and royal intrigue. The map was a weapon in the hands of ambitious rulers. Lines were drawn to favor certain monarchs, rivers emphasized to control access, and cities highlighted to direct commerce. Alliances were built around it, and rival powers sought to decipher its secrets. Couriers smuggled copies across borders, while spies infiltrated foreign courts to obtain or sabotage it. Royal families schemed, assassins lurked in shadows, and the slightest misinterpretation of the map could trigger conflict. In this world, knowledge itself became a battleground, and the map was the ultimate prize. 7. The first ripples. Once the map was in the right hands, the first ripples spread silently. Neutral territories were claimed as sovereign, governors reconsidered loyalties, armies recalculated strategies, and merchants shifted trade routes. Ordinary citizens felt the effects unknowingly. Villages became part of new kingdoms. Towns gained or lost prominence, and soldiers marched to defend lines that existed only on parchment. The world's balance began to shift not through conquest alone, but through carefully crafted information, strategy, and secrecy. 6. The spark for conflict. Soon, the map's influence became undeniable. Neighboring nations, seeing lines claiming land they considered theirs, interpreted them as provocations. Minor border disputes erupted into wars that spanned continents. Treaties were renegotiated under pressure, alliances fractured, and battles were fought for territories whose only claim was ink on paper. Historians trace decades of conflict directly to decisions made by cartographers and rulers guided by this singular document. A map, once thought neutral, had become a catalyst for global transformation. 5. Shaping economies and trade. Beyond politics and warfare, the map reshaped commerce and wealth. Merchants relied on it to plan caravans and shipping routes. Cities flourished or declined depending on trade access, and strategic ports became centers of influence. Nations rich in resources leveraged their position on the map to dominate markets, while others were left isolated. Entire populations prospered or suffered based on decisions made silently in royal chambers. The invisible hand of a map dictated the flow of wealth and opportunity across continents. 4. Expeditions and exploration. The map inspired daring exploration. Navigators set sail to verify coastlines, discover hidden rivers, and chart unknown lands. Every new discovery was meticulously added, refining the map further. Expeditions faced perilous storms, hostile terrain, and unknown cultures, yet their efforts contributed to an ever-expanding understanding of the world. These journeys were not merely academic. They were strategic. Knowledge gathered fueled empires, allowed preemptive control of resources, and gave unprecedented advantage in diplomacy and war. 3. Human stories in shadow. The map affected ordinary lives in profound ways. Families were uprooted overnight as borders shifted. Soldiers marched into territories that existed only on parchment, facing enemies who suddenly appeared on their land. Traders lost fortunes when routes changed, while others gained wealth by following newly defined paths. Scholars recorded cultures and geography previously unknown, altering history's understanding of the world. The map silently orchestrated human lives, dictating where people lived, traveled, fought, and thrived, often without their knowledge or consent. 2. Secrets, espionage, and betrayal. The map's power lay in secrecy. Its knowledge was restricted to rulers, generals, and trusted couriers. Copies were hidden, forged, or altered to mislead rivals. Spies risked their lives to steal or protect it. Diplomats used it to manipulate negotiations. Betrayal was commonplace. Allies feigned loyalty while secretly interpreting the map to their advantage. The hidden corridors of power, vaults, secret libraries, and shadowy councils became arenas where the future of nations was decided. The map's influence extended far beyond the page, reaching into the hearts and ambitions of humans. 1. The map's enduring legacy. Centuries later, the consequences of this map remain. Modern borders, trade patterns, and cultural hubs reflect the decisions encoded in ink. Wars were fought, empires rose and fell, and migrations occurred, all guided by the vision of cartographers and the ambition of rulers who understood its power. The map reshaped human civilization, demonstrating that knowledge, foresight, and strategy often determine outcomes more than armies or wealth alone. It is a reminder that even seemingly small decisions can alter the course of history, and that the quiet power of information can change the fate of nations forever. The story of the map that changed the fate of nations teaches us that history is often written not just on battlefields or in treaties, but in the careful, deliberate crafting of knowledge. Borders, conflicts, trade, exploration, and the lives of millions were all shaped by a single document drawn in secrecy. Its influence reminds us that power is as much about insight and strategy as it is about force. A map may appear ordinary, but in the hands of the ambitious, it becomes the silent architect of destiny, quietly reshaping the world for generations to come.